'Cause I am a little wicked. I am. Hands raised, just like it said. I am a little wicked.
Hello, darling, and welcome back to the Druid's Deadly Darlings. Pardon the filter. I just didn't feel like doing my makeup today, and I did have to be Madame Tutorial for a bit, because, you see, my favourite Hellebores blooming, and I'd love nothing more and nothing than to share it with you. As you can see, it is still March, nearly April, but here we have it. Oh, she's gorgeous. Isn't she incredible? I've had her for a few years now. This variety is known as Juliet. Hellebores, or the Lenten rose, or winter rose, is a species of flowering perennial that comes up in late winter to early spring. She's gorgeous. She's bigger than ever. Bold and beautiful. Oh my goodness. Look, she is a double. Oh, look at her poisonous little flowers. Oh my goodness. I simply cannot get enough. She actually used to have a brother beside her called Dark and Handsome, but my little chickie babies, my little chickens, when I had them, dug him up and ate him. And somehow they didn't die. Anyway. I cannot get enough. Look at her bell-shaped flowers. Simply stunning. Now, Hellebores, they are called the Lenten rose, but they are not even remotely related to true roses in the Rosa genus. Here, I'll show you the difference. Let's have a look at the true rose, shall we? Oh, isn't it magnificent? Everything is coming back. Look at the Taxus bacara, the European yew. Have that one there as a little shrub. It's actually my son's plant because he was born on the winter solstice, and it is the winter solstice tree of the Druids. Me being the Druid. Anyway, yes, you see, this is a true rose. This is a climbing rose, the David Austin Falstaff variety, named after the Shakespearean character. This one, it's a little more shrubby than some of the other climbing roses. I'm going to fix its trellis. But as you can see, lots of thorns, but not at all poisonous, and in fact quite medicinal, and a wonderful botanical ally. But, it does have its thorns. And that particular rose will get large, gorgeous blooms that are a deep red, almost black, and then they fade to a purple with a red center before the flower dies. And the blooms last a few days, 2 or 3 days at best, and then another one comes out. Absolutely stunning in the mid-spring to early summer, typically. So, but we're not here to talk about true roses, right? We are here to discuss the Lenten rose. Now, we have here 3 or 4 others that are coming up right now. There are 2 other ones in the front that are currently blooming. Oh, it's 3:33 in the time, I think. Look at that. There's one that I just planted. There's another European yew tree, this one in tree form. That variety is called Stonehenge, appropriately. Oh, and this lovely lady right here, she's back. I planted her last year, and oh my goodness, she was a few wee buds down below a couple of weeks ago, and then look at her. Absolutely stunning. And here's a lovely little piece of artwork that I created for the Hellebore. Hellebores niger is one of the species known as the black hellebore, known for it. It's so called because of its black roots, although the variety Dark and Handsome does have black flowers, double flowers, just like the Juliet. And those are not hellebore flowers, although they do look like them. But those are imprints made with the leaves of my very own plants. And you can see its taxonomic classification. They are related to the ranunculus, which means they're related to poppies, buttercups, and aconitum, also known as monks of the wolfsbane. Incredibly poisonous. And in fact, I believe every single plant that I just named there is poisonous. Hellebores, interestingly enough, being one of the least poisonous of that lot. Now, hellebores, they are poisonous, yes, I wouldn't recommend consuming them whatsoever, but they are more poisonous in the sense of give you a very bad day, case of diarrhea and vomiting, but they won't kill you unless you consume extremely high quantities of them, which I do not, because it just don't do it, please. They're ornamental and meant to be enjoyed in the garden landscape, and that's it. However, in the Victorian age, where I'm from, as an apothecary owner, we do prescribe them to people, particularly young children, to treat worms. Because, when they're vomiting, that's a sign that the worms are still in the system, and so logically, the cure for that is to prescribe more Hellebore, so that they can keep vomiting the worms up and everything else until there's nothing left and they just expire from dehydration. Such was the unfortunate truth during the Victorian age, particularly with young children. Thankfully, we don't do that anymore, although in your 21st century medical industry is not too far removed, if you ask me. I'd rather stick with the plants. Another fascinating story in Hellebore mythology is when in Greek mythology, I want to say, they were used as a form of warfare. And not just Greek mythology, ancient Greek history. I believe they took a whole bundle, a large quantity, a large sum of Hellebores, tied them in a bundle, and then put them in the water to poison the enemies, so that when they drank the water supply, they all vomited and the brains out and died. Yeah, biological warfare using Hellebores. I have to keep that in mind. Kidding. I'm sorry, botanical warfare. Well, biological. A part of nature, right? Anyway, thank you for joining me through this stroll through my garden of shadows. And, as always, stay safe and happy planting. I'm Madame Datura, and this has been the Druid's Deadly Darlings.